there. These comments are for, I'm going to use the first letter of your name, I, and I just listened to a independent speaking practice test from my 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT, and I want to give you some feedback right now on how you scored and why. Okay, so your score here, I'm going to give you 2.0 out of 4, or about 15 points out of 30. So in terms of the general description, you have answered the question. Delivery. Your speech is basically understandable, but I have to really pay attention to understand what you're saying. You have a lot of unnecessary pauses. You speak sometimes with what's called telegraphic speech, which means instead of saying I go to the store, you might say I go store. So make sure you don't omit prepositions or determiners or even auxiliary verbs as you're speaking English, and that definitely gives you lower level speaking proficiency. All right, language use. I think the biggest problem here is I think you have adequate grammar and vocabulary, but I think that your grammar and your vocabulary limitations are preventing you from fully expressing your ideas. Okay, so I think that is something to think about. In terms of topic development, you're discussing mostly basic ideas. You don't really give any details. For example, you say when you're busy with a lot of homework, you like to relax, right? But you don't say relax by doing what? Do you want to relax by watching TV, listening to music? How about walking? Does walking relax you? Does it help you to sit outside in the nice clean air? So you're not really giving any details to support your generalizations, and that also will give you a lower score in that area. You also can improve your connection among the different ideas in the speech. So based on your score right now of 2.0 out of 4 or 15 points out of 30, I recommend that you review the following lessons. Vocabulary lesson 4, I think, is going to be important for you to improve your vocabulary more. Pronunciation lessons 26 through 40. Grammar lessons 1 through 2. Grammar lesson number 7, focus on writing exercises, and also speaking lesson number 2. I definitely think you want to take a look at those lessons and review those and try to incorporate those things into your speech. And one more suggestion that I think might be good for you in your case, when you have your speaking proficiency, you actually need to do a lot more pronunciation practice right now than you do actually speaking practice based on your level right now. So keep working hard in my second step, my pronunciation step of my 7-step system. And make sure as you go through those videos, I want you to read with me out loud the information that I'm teaching you in those videos. I think that's going to be very important for you. Now, the last thing I recommend, and obviously you cannot do this when you're taking the actual TOEFL test, but I recommend that I want you to write a response to the speaking task before you give it. Yes, I want you to write it out exactly. Take maybe 100 words, write 100 words answering the question. Make sure you have a good thesis, which outlines maybe 2 key ideas that you want to talk about, and then you can refer to those 2 key points in the topic sentences of the rest of the speech, and then make sure you give details to illustrate each of those ideas. Again, write out the whole speech. Once you write it out, practice it a few times. Even watch yourself in the mirror as you read the speech, right? And then record yourself giving the speech. And then let me listen to it at that point, right? Now, writing out the speech can be useful because it helps you pay more attention to your grammar. It helps you pay more attention to your vocabulary. And even you can pay more attention to your pronunciation. Now, after you write out 5 or 6 speeches, gradually you'll become more comfortable using vocabulary, grammar, and clear pronunciation in those speaking tasks as you record them. And little by little, you can actually become better. Alrighty? Anyway, thank you for completing a practice test. And remember that each day you are one of my students, I want you to do a practice test each day, and you have been doing that. So keep up the good work, and little by little, you will get better.